Terribly out of focus. I don't know what's going on with our cameras. Hello, everybody. Doug Fowler here from Show Me StreamCast. Regina, can you got your mic on?
Do I have my mic on?
Yeah. Feels like one of those sound guys. I'll turn mine down a little bit. There we go. Let me zoom us in a little bit. Here we go. How's everybody out there, Regina? How's the campaign going?
Oh, it's busy.
It's busy?
It's busy. It's always busy.
What's the last event you hit?
We were at the tractor pull in Richland last night.
Awesome sauce. Before we get going, I'm going to hit the advertiser shout out real quick. They're one of our cornerstone. Regina Utley is our gold sponsor also for the month. So thank you so much for being a sponsor and helping us turn the lights on. For scheduling, I'm going to pull up a Chrome window. And you should be able to see it. There's our events coming up, and of course we have today. You won't be able to see it on the TV, but on next Tuesday we have Patrick Cochran coming down to the studio about that tonight. Maybe we can edify each other and figure that out. It's the first time ever, from what I'm told, the first candidate ever from the Constitution Party. Then also we have our first ever candidate for sheriff debate here in the garage. I don't know if you've seen the footage from the primaries debate, but I set it up in the garage and we sit around and it works really good. And everybody, there we go. And then everybody stands by. I got my photo studio up there, so it works pretty good. Now, if you're a new business or old business alike and you're interested in coming on the show, telling everybody book, TikTok, but send us an email message or FaceTime us, Facebook us, whatever you have, and absolutely no charge, no fees whatsoever. So how long you been campaigning now?
Since the first week of August.
First week, yeah. So
right after the primary.
What's your most memorable experience so far? Oh, before I start, let's get started. This is a question and answer session. So as soon as we see questions or answers, call in at the number below at the screen, 573-408-0339. You can text them. Prefer that the Facebook message or on the event here.
Well, I can't say there's one that's most because all of them are first anyway. So they all carry a memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The events.
10 up at Cow Days.
Okay.
So about mid-afternoon, I switched to the other side and went up to Cow Days.
Yeah.
And was up there.
Oh, that's awesome. So what are the common concerns that you've been on the road, been beating around the county and talking with everybody? What are some of the concerns and issues that voters have shared with you during your campaign? Any new enlightenments?
No.
Yeah.
No, not any new enlightenment.
Tired of the drug problem, tired of the crime problem, not enough presence, not enough deputies on the road, as much as the budget can stand. I got you. As these conversations, are they continuing to shape your vision for what you want the sheriff's office to be if you win the election?
It does, because with every new conversation, you come up with a new idea.
Sure.
And then you have to come up with a solution.
Right.
So it's back and forth. One idea, you have different solutions, and that solution doesn't work for the other idea. So it's a constant. It's fluid. It's always changing.
And I talked with this prior in the primaries with the Republican candidates. We talked about not the restrictions, but the resources are not infinite. You can only literally do so much.
You can.
And I'm assuming while you're building your goals and your vision for the office is that you'll have a 1 to N list. 1 to N, the number N is I can only do 1 to this many. Mm-hmm. The rest, something like that, to the population of Pulaski County when it comes. I talked to you on the campaign trail. You said you were going to fix it, but it falls below the cut line. How are you going to talk to the people like that?
The first year,
right?
It depends on where you're at when you walk into that office on January 1st.
Right.
So your first year coming in there is just going to be an assessment process.
Right. Keel as best you can. Trying to fix it while mid-flight, fix an airplane while you're going down there and flying it or whatever.
I don't think I've ever heard that.
Oh yeah, I say trying to repair the aircraft while you're flying.
While you're flying.
Yeah. There's a lot of moving parts for a diverse population here. And I don't know, I haven't seen the breakup of this sheriff's department or the county offices as far as if the method or methodology or plan of attack you're going to use to embrace the diversity of the
That's a good question, because at the end of the day, everybody is owed the same services.
Right.
So if you start breaking it down into categories, then it appears like you're providing the same service as everybody else, and everybody is treated the same as everybody else, and you do it equally across the board.
Right. It's kind of like when I call 911, I don't care what party you're in. I don't care what color your skin is, as long as you bleed red, and you're here to help me. That's all I care about. I don't care what party, what affiliation you have. Got a question from Rossi Ross. Who will be part of your leadership team if that's been decided yet?
Like I've said before, I'm not out making promises.
Right.
I'm not promising people jobs or positions.
Right.
After the election is when those determinations will be made.
Okay. Have you?
She's a good one.
Oh, you bet. She's engaged, and we always appreciate that. Can you share an instance where a conversation with a voter significantly impacted your
calls and they didn't feel like they got enough,
right,
or they felt something was askew or missed,
right,
and they tend to step back and have a different type of understanding.
And I brought this up to the other candidates during the primaries before you all talked about it, and it's going to be the same challenge as you have, but an opportunity is to be able to push the information out prior to somebody trying to pull it. That being making it available for somebody like me before I have to call, take an action to find something. A proactive approach.
And we just had this same situation here last week with the event at the donate out to.
So they have the right, especially being a child, not to have their information distributed.
Correct. So I get the frustration, because it can be frustrating to those that don't have all the information, but at the same time, you also have to protect everybody.
Sure.
That goes back to equality.
Right.
Everybody has the same protections as everybody else, and we just can't, because you're wanting information.
Right.
So you have to be very careful. It's a touchy subject, especially with the events that are going on in the world. And I totally understand.
Whether it be leadership or not, is the not fighting, but dealing with the speed of now, the information.
Right.
Before you even show up to an area that after being called, 25 people are aware of it. By within 20 to 30 minutes, 2,500 are aware of it.
Correct.
And each one of them know a little bit more than you do because you just showed up.
Correct. And you sort through that
get those likes,
Yeah,
look at me.
You have
Thoughts
to sort
and prayers.
through it all, and that just adds to.
Oh, sure. Just it's like to me, it's trying to fight through a bunch of cotton, and it's just trying to get to the clear picture of what's going on. What have you learned in the camp?
Don't have a whole lot. You want to know what we've had some pretty good comments and stuff. Showing how much that's what gets us there.
Right.
It is really kind of.
I think that would also be good to a good point to focus. But it's like a good news story. Share it with the world. Whoever's managing that Facebook page. Make it a good news story. How do you plan to address specific issues raised by the public as sheriff? Let's see specific issues.
Well, that's
just questions. I'm not that good. What are your challenges when campaigning? What have you embraced so far or encountered so far?
I think the biggest challenge that I come across is, I'm still working full time.
Sure.
Like the first couple of days of this week, I worked from 7 to almost midnight.
Wow.
So
I need to recoup and recover.
I need to kind of recover. So it's just it's just constant motion.
Yeah.
All the time. It just then I'm giving to the community. So it's kind of a catch-22 on some days.
Right.
You are giving and you're not really cheating them, but then you're working two different roles.
I could actually see a scenario where they're talking to you over the fence collab for your campaign. You're out there campaigning. Now, why ain't you at work?
Right. Or, hey, can we have this conversation? Well, I can't do this while I'm in uniform.
Sure, exactly.
So you have to you have to put that boundary there.
Right.
And sometimes you just feel like, I don't know. I haven't done this
I
before.
hope this platform helps reach out a little bit, We're getting a lot of hits. Your last one cleared over 500. I think it's like 1,200 right now.
Talking to half a dozen people, because if they're going to stand there and talk to me and they're going to talk to me,
well, sure.
I'm going to stand there and listen.
Yeah.
So I don't want to call that time consuming. I want to call it educating.
Right.
So you just have to.
Especially when if they've taken the time to try to break down what their concerns are to you. I mean, to me, that's almost a challenge in and of itself. I'm coming to you, here's the problems that I see, and I'm willing to take the step forward. Because really,
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
well, that's good.
I have anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hour conversations
Wow.
with anybody I sit and talk to.
Wow, that's awesome. And people are actually getting boisterous about the concerns.
They are.
That's good. That means hopefully they'll engage come November 5th.
Yes, absolutely.
That's the biggest challenge right there. Now, negativity. How do you handle negativity or opposition you encounter on the campaign trail?
Well, who says it's negative?
Have you had any, I should say?
I wouldn't call it negativity. I would call it just because people. It's not negativity. It's
Politics and the name calling and all this stuff. I haven't seen that. At least locally between you and Stacy, you guys have been professional, courteous, and
I refuse to do it.
that's a good thing.
Federal level to where I'm just like I don't even want to listen to what they have to say.
I don't blame you because you get tired because it's all the first change you're going to make. They're not supposed to be. How about but what was to say? What's the first short-term goal you'd want to achieve? Maybe within the first 6.
There's no telling where we're going to be in the next 2 months, so it's hard to say whether that next step is coming in.
Gotcha. Great answer. Evolution of the sheriff's role in the county. What do you envision the role of the sheriff evolving in response to community feedback? Is there any changes in the current process or the mindset the sheriff department has presented to the county versus things
Is the interaction between the sheriff and work on community policing. You know, in some areas maybe we have the ability to be proactive and not reactive.
Right.
So I would like to. That's where I'm kind of setting my goals, is because as long as I've been at the sheriff's department, no matter how hard we try to be proactive, and there were incidences where we were able to be proactive, but a majority of our time is being reactive. And I'd like to see the sheriff's department and the community work in changing that.
Okay, we're going to break for sponsors. You're the sponsor, so you get the break. So stand by.
Regina Utley, an independent candidate for a deep understanding of the community's needs and has built strong relationships. In her current role, she has conducted thorough assessments to identify and implement necessary improvements. Regina has served in various capacities, including reserve deputy, full-time deputy, and corporal, and has personally trained a K-9 for the department. Her leadership experience and familiarity with the Drug Task Force, combined with her business management education, make her a highly qualified candidate for sheriff.
All right, we're back. Advertisement number 1 out the door. Thank you so much again for being a sponsor. So let's go back to the campaign questions. Does anybody have a question for Regina here before we go back to my little Q&A with her? If not, if you do, put it in the messaging below. The priorities. Based on your conversation, county.
I don't have a specific answer for that. In all honesty, I truly don't. I think it's like seasonal.
Right.
You know, like we discussed one time before, you know, this time of year where the holidays are coming, and, you know, we just kind of just educate on how to be more preventive with that. Don't leave your stuff in the cars, turn your lights on. Everybody has cameras now.
Right.
You know, it's just, I don't have a specific answer.
How do you do that now as the patrols managed outside the city's roads where the patrols are watching it? Are we
Complaints, and we got vehicle information.
Right.
Buses.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I didn't know if it was responsible of the sheriff's department or not, but that's good because that's one of those things that's almost zero tolerance.
Yes.
Go hot and heavy after
Well,
something.
it depends on the location.
I don't know what that was. I don't know if I want to know. We're safe.
Well, we've not received very many complaints of that.
Right.
It does happen. I'm not going to say it doesn't, but it doesn't happen as often, or we're not informed of it if it does.
SROs, I always think when I go to the VA clinic down here, that one-way road going to the high school.
We talk to them. They come in if they have
emergency responses and stuff like that, what we've seen in Dixon. Hopefully it never happens again in the county, but likely it's not. You know, sometime in our lifetime it may happen again. Hopefully nothing serious. But is there a plan in place where the sheriff's department and the SROs in the schools, they engage to address an issue, real life action? Kind of like what Dixon. I know you probably can't talk about it, but
well, there is actually, because the first thing we need to do though is educate the students and the parents on how much freedom that the students have with these now that they're using Chromebooks
Right.
and stuff on and the internet to learn and educate them on the other half of it is like I've said before, is everybody trained together.
Yeah.
Everybody get familiar with the different setups of the different schools.
Right.
Come out and again, if something happens, it's going to be a come one, come all.
Sure. It's going to be a rallying cry.
It is. So everybody needs to be familiar with each other. Everybody needs to be familiar with the area that they're going to.
Right.
And, the sheriff's department needs to know all the schools in the county. I think Waynesville and St. Robert needs to know the schools in the county. I think Crocker, Richland, and Dixon need to know the schools in Waynesville and St. Robert.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody needs to be familiar with it.
Now, who's responsible for coordinating that kind of issue? It's like an SOP. Who does what?
Well, there's nobody that's specifically set for that responsibility.
I didn't know if they're
but
OEM.
Considering that ultimately, at the end of the day, all the schools are within Pulaski County.
Sure.
They may be in different school districts.
Right.
The county should be the one responsible for trying to put that together. And that's one of the things that I've been talking to different departments about.
Right.
And that's one of my plans is to bring these departments together and have training in different schools in different areas.
Because I went through some FEMA training on post. There's always a person in charge at the scene commander, so to speak, depending on the type of scene. And I didn't know if our OEM office would be responsible for coordinating the activities of all the government agencies at the county level. Then,
Well, they absolutely should be a part of it.
okay, that's why I would think so too. I mean, that's what I think that we do.
And, it doesn't just stop with law enforcement because we're going to be working with the ambulance districts.
Right.
We're going to be working with fire districts.
Right.
So even at the incident command level,
Right, that's what I was worried.
You have to know who these people are.
Right. And I would say everybody has working knowledge of who does what and when.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, that was kind of on the top of my head there.
No, that's
It's been just like a flight. Building relationships. What role do you believe community partnership?
working relationship or a good personal relationship or a good professional relationship with somebody. It's going to make reaching goals
Sure.
harder. So, you don't have to have the same visions on how you get to a certain goal, but if we don't have the same goals, we're not going to get anywhere.
Right. And establishing that single goal so everybody's going in the same direction.
Well, somebody else is always going to know more than you do.
Well, sure.
So
I say that to everybody every day. I know more than you do. It don't work very well, especially the boss tells me, "Oh, really?"
we all have different experiences. So there may be, that's what it's going to take. It's going to take more than one single thought.
And then one rule of government I've always learned: we're effective. We're not efficient. That's at the federal, state, local. We're not. We can be effective, but it may take us a long time to get there. Yeah.
Right.
Do you want to convey to those that have supported your campaign so far?
I'm actually humbled.
Right.
I am humbled.
Well, that's
So,
awesome.
I really don't have the words other than thank you.
Okay.
Every day, at the end of every day, I just step back and I'm just like, wow, I didn't see this
You
coming.
can, you can feel the push.
I can.
That's good
I can.
experience.
Correct.
How do you plan to continue engaging the public after the election, regardless of the outcome?
Well, I guess that depends on
What the
where
outcome?
I'm setting. That's kind of, you're asking me to predict the future right now.
Right. I could see it's kind of challenging because you tend to turn the page. Okay, I one page I'm the sheriff, one page I'll go back to work and do my job serving the county, and you're back to your schedule being full or fuller, and still trying to communicate and appreciate those that put you in the chair, whatever chair that is. So it's going to be challenging, but that's awesome. What are your personal or values or beliefs that have guided you through this campaign that you've had to lean on?
No matter what, but if you're being honest, they have a tendency to respect it or appreciate
Right.
it.
That goes a long way.
That does go a long way.
How should I say that? It carries a lot of weight later on in a future conversation. They were honest with me before, they'll be honest with me again.
And and again, just if I don't know, I don't know.
Right?
I'll find the answer.
Right.
I'll find somebody who has the answer.
with George W. Bush. Surround yourself with experts.
Exactly.
How has the campaign experience changed your perspective on leadership and public service, or has it?
Campaigning, politics and law enforcement are two different beasts.
Right.
And you can't, they don't, I don't even know how to answer
How
that.
to do to take out the, what is it called, where the position, the sheriff is affiliated with the party, unaffiliated with any party. You can be elected. It doesn't matter what party you are. But I wish it wasn't a political position. I don't think it should be in my opinion.
I think it puts a lot of burden. And I've heard and seen this. People, they help get a person somewhere in
Sure.
an office, and then they want something in return for
Quid
it.
pro quo.
Yes, and it's just, I don't think that's good for politics.
That's awesome. Well, we don't have any questions back.
Are you in family law, criminal defense, and personal injury cases? We are dedicated to providing personalized and compassionate representation to our clients. Located on the square in Waynesville, just across the street from the courthouse, call us today at 573-774-6444 or by email at prulaw@aol.com for a free consultation.
I hear a phone ringing. Is that yours?
No. Must be one of yours.
If somebody's calling, give me a second. Ontario. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, hello?
Who's calling? You're on the air. This is...
Remember me?
Nope, I don't. Do you?
Hi, yo, real quick, y'all outbound the music here. Yeah, it's Hippo Lover 88. We played together.
If you tune into this goes viral, because, dude, I don't know you.
Yo, don't you play dumb.
Oh, I play real... Where are you from? Are you from Ontario?
I got proof my mama ain't fat. You supposed to look like a bag of gravy.
I gotta let you go, man. I got a live podcast later.
You sound scared.
No, far from it. I'm sitting with the sheriff's officer right beside me, so not scared at all. Out of here.
What?
You should be playing them online video games.
I should. I know it. Who gave my name? Pay it is for the debate. First ever.
Yes.
And I finished my Jeopardy game. So you and Stacy may be playing a little Jeopardy. If I can convince the boss to let me buy the controllers where you got to push the button real fast, I've got the question board built up. All law enforcement officers' questions, so it'd actually be pretty fun. So, but with that, we're going to chime out of here, and thank you so much for stopping by. And if you want to come back anytime you want to come back, and we'll make room for you.